Yo, what's up, bros and broettes? Welcome back to the vlog.
That car driving make you feel some type of way. That custom brightly make you feel some type of way.
So today we are actually going to be working on Regina, aka the Evil Queen, yet again. Today I got in a part, so I'm really excited about it. I told you guys about this in a previous episode that I ordered the KA24 intake for the 240, and there's a reason why I did that. For one, they have one on the eBay for like $35, plus that coupler I spent like $40, $41 for the whole the induction piping. So let's go ahead and get to the box and I'll show you everything that's in it. So it basically came with everything that I need except for one coupler, and that was to fit onto the MAF sensor for the Rb25. So here's the box, everything came in. Let's go ahead and get it opened. First things first, I'm pretty sure this is the air filter. Yep. Alright, so new air filter. As you can see, it says R Tunes Racing on it. It's not a bad looking filter. I actually thought it was going to be blue, but I like the fact that it's black. And because it kind of just goes with the engine bay. It's black, purple, and gold, so can't complain with that. What next? Here's the MAF adapter. I'm really hoping that this matches up to my MAF. If not, then I'll have to figure something out. I got hoses and clamps and brackets. And couplers. Alright. And then the main pipe. Come on, bubble wrap. Alright, so there's everything. Alright guys, so first thing first, the MAF adapter does not line up other than the center hole is the right size, which is fine. What I did was I centered it up and marked where I needed to drill some new holes at. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll just use like probably, this is aluminum, so I should be able to make new threads in it with just some bolts. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drill the holes out just big enough for the bolt to get a little bite on it and start threading it through. And then we'll go from there. But like I said, this was originally supposed to have like some type of gasket right here. So I'm just going to use gasket maker and kind of make it and at least until, and then kind of let it set for a while, and I'll put this on, and then we'll go from there. But after I get these holes drilled and I get this all done, what I'm going to do next is start messing with that pipe, because obviously this, like I said, this is for the KA24, so you know that's meant to go like that, you know, across the front and everything, and I'm trying to use it to come off from down here, and that ain't gonna work. So next up is probably gonna cut it like down right here and have it kind of come out, probably cut out a big little chunk out of here, and then but we shall see on that. Yes, we shall see indeed. Anyways, before I get too off topic and whatnot, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do. So, I'll be back in a second. Yo, what's up guys? It is the next morning. I would have tackled this yesterday, but my wife works this morning and she had yesterday off. So, I took the time and spent the day with her. But so far, I had to modify the mass airflow sensor adapter to adapt the air filter to it. So it actually turned out pretty well. Instead of using any silicone or anything for the math to seal against this, I actually used some foam, one-side adhesive, well, weather stripping that I basically used to seal the doors and stuff in the house. I still have this port on it though, which I don't need. Sorry, it's not in focus. But I don't need that, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. I might throw maybe some tape or something over it, or I don't know. I'll figure it out, but I might throw a piece of hose over it with a bolt in it. Again, sorry for me yawning and everything, but I just woke up. But I will figure that out. I think that this filter looks amazing. I was expecting, like I thought it was gonna be blue, but it's kind of like a black color. So I think it looks great. So I still have some of that stuff on it, but it actually doesn't look bad at all. It doesn't look bad at all. Well, with that said, this is gonna sit somewhere about like that. You know? So as long as I can get what I need out of that, I should be good. Actually, that's actually really high, so it might sit somewhere further down, like so. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll definitely figure it out. So, with that said, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna route this piping to get this thing to work. Because again, I'm not just having that air filter right there, I'm having two other pipes that have to come through, like, literally they'll come through like right here, and come through this section right here. So I need to have them over here. So this basically comes down, and then comes down. So my air filter needs to land right around here. So with that said, my camera is dying, so I'm going to figure out how I'm going to cut that up to make it work for what I'm doing. So let me get to that, and then I'll be back once I figure out what I'm cutting up. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I got what I needed cut out of it. I'm going to show you real quick what I did cut. So obviously, for those of you who do an Rb25 and are keeping basically everything stock, this is literally like the cheapest method to go. This thing had originally 3 bends in it, like 3 actual bends in the pipe. The first one was obviously this one, which would normally come off the intake portion of the KA. Obviously I can't use these nipples, so then the next one was right after it, which has this little mounting bracket, which would normally mount on the that radiator mounting bracket up top, and then it would go across, which I cut out that piece that goes across, and then I used the next bend. So I'm going to show you what this looks like all together and in the car. It actually is like pretty much spot on. I just used my Dremel to clean up the edges after I cut my pipes to where I wanted it to be. But with that said, let's go ahead and get this in there, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so I just finished the intake. It's all buttoned up inside the the intake induction pipe thing. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and show you what it looks like. So yeah. I'm pretty sure I got it in the right spot, especially with what I was working with, and I'm pretty sure what the piping that comes with the intercooler kit will fit around what I have here. If not, I'll tweak it in a way to where everything fits right. So with that said, without further ado, let's go ahead and look at how it turned out. So here we go. It actually turned out pretty nice. I'm actually, it has a little bit of wiggle room, but it's on there, so it's not, it's not going anywhere. As you can see, it goes down and connects down there. And, for the cleanest, obviously I would have went with another route, but the route I was originally thinking about going was the ISR performance intake for the stock turbo. But if I'm not mistaken, they're discontinuing that, so they're getting harder to find. I think, what is it? Injuku Racing still has them in stock. But I didn't feel like paying $130 something before shipping. Whereas I paid, what, no, I didn't even pay 100. I paid 42 bucks for this. All I did was buy that 240 KA intake, air intake, and just cut the elbows out that I needed from it. Use the couplings and the brackets, and modified this just a little bit because it has different bolt patterns for the stock KA24 math compared to this one, so it actually lined up, and I was able to drill new holes and then thread. It's aluminum, so I was able to thread the steel screws through no problem and make new threads. I'll obviously get this Rb25 lettering off. Wiring harness has already made it back to Wiring Specialties, so they could fix that. So I should probably get it by next weekend. At least that's the hope. And by then my downpipe will be in, and so my radiator hoses and coolant hoses. So I'll have the new hose that goes from here to here, and then this one that would normally go down, but I'm not going to do that. This will probably go to like an oil catch can or something, and then vent. Probably something along those lines. I'm not quite sure yet. But with that said, I'm very happy with how this turned out. Very happy. What else? Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure I pointed out earlier that I had finally went to pull apart, and there happened to be another 240 there, and I finally found a fuse box cover for this. So that looks way better, than just open fuses. So I'm very happy about that. What else? That's really about it, really. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and double check just to make sure that the hood closes. But from what I'm looking at right now, I should definitely have clearance, enough clearance for everything. So let's go ahead and take a look. And I'll put grease on the highest point of the air filter just to see if it touches. If it touches, then I'll adjust it again so that it doesn't touch. With that said, yeah, until next time, guys. I'm glad that you guys stopped by to watch the video, and if you made it this far, thank you again for watching. So, but until next time, guys, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And I think that's all. Yep, that's all I have for today. Until next time, guys. Peace out, and never look back.